What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse rants, no hate. So I was watching. This is not the first time I saw it, but I was watching this video. It's called "Back to Back" with Franchon, Cruz Dessert, and Savannah Marshall. And as usual, when it comes to Savannah Marshall, I have to say that Clarissa Shields is the Floyd Mayweather of female boxing for several reasons. And one of the main reasons is because you can't talk to Savannah Marshall, anybody that can make a particular weight class that Clarissa Shields is in, or have shared the ring with her, without them bringing her name up when she has absolutely nothing to do with the fight that's happening. And as an interviewer, I just don't see how these interviewers, how they, when you're sitting there with your list of questions and what you want to ask and say, they don't feel bored asking the same questions over and over. You know, I want to play this little short clip for you guys because I remember when I first saw this clip, and before the clip and then seeing the clip, I can remember I was watching this interview, and I remember Savannah Marshall saying that basically Clarissa Shields, I mean, she's a good fighter. I respect her, but I'll knock her out in 2 rounds. I remember her coming to Clarissa Shields' fight, and I remember she came around ringside. Clarissa actually initiated like the fist bump or whatever they did, handshake or whatever it was, and then she just started. You struggle to beat a mere child, and right. Fight me like that, I'll stop you. Like she initiated this shit. She definitely initiated it. And the fact is, these interviewers, I point these things out because it happens so often, but people are so into the drama that they don't understand where it comes from. Then when they play this childish pick sides, I'm gonna speak on her behalf because I like her more or whatever, whatever. But this was an interview with Clarissa Shields that I remember when this woman asked her this question and how she responded to her. I do remember somebody on my channel, like it was several people that was, oh, Clarissa's a big mouth and she keeps this and this. And it's like, see, here you go. Here you go. You're already talking shit about her because she's responding to things that Savannah Marshall says. Example, and I don't care personally. It's just the fact, it's just amazing to me how people love to act like they don't know where these things come from. And if you don't, then it's better to just be silent and then till you find out what's really going on. Because the difference with Savannah Marshall and the Clarissa Shields is this. Clarissa will come out and say, I will fuck you up. Savannah Marshall will go, I'll fuck you up. Saying the same shit. It's just one is real mellow with it, smiling and the whole shit. The other serious and to the point. Same thing, right? Just listen to what she's asking, how she responds.
Respect Savannah Marshall. Do Savannah Marshall respect me? When you sit there and say that, oh, she's not better than me, she just got to the belt before me, I can knock her out in 2 rounds. Is that considered respect?
She
when
said
you're talking
that.
about a 2-time Olympic champion, a 3-time division world champion, a 12-time world champion, if she continues to disrespect me, I'm going to disrespect her. But I never said that she's a shit boxer. I never said I'm going to knock her out in 2 rounds. I said, hey, she's a decent fighter. I'm just better. And if you ever want to get into a scuffle outside the ring, if she want to fight outside the ring, I'll beat her ass. And if she want to fight in the ring, I'm going to beat her ass too. So I have a lot of respect for Peter Fury, Marshall.
And if you didn't hear the very beginning, what she asked her was, do you respect Savannah Marshall? Okay. There's a difference with sassiness too. And let me say that this is a short video. This video was chopped and screwed. So there's a lot of shit that you didn't get to hear. See, but when they piece the videos together, they try to make it seem as though it's just like a bunch of anger, like and just like a vicious attack on a person. But let me say this. See, like she said, she respect Peter Ferry, but fuck Savannah Marshall. She's being honest. She's being open. So what? What the fuck? She's supposed to, hey, every time I see Savannah, I just want to give her a big hug. If there's no love lost, there's no love lost. If they don't like each other, so what? But the reality is, the same interviewer, I remember her talking to Savannah Marshall. But see, when she was talking to Savannah Marshall, it was more of a back and forth, ha ha, he, hoo. Yeah, it's like this, okay? If you say the name Clarissa Shields and you trying to say she don't sell, oh nobody, and which is what Savannah Marshall said even after their fight. She doesn't sell in America. And how the fuck would you know? You don't fight in America. You have, but you don't want to come over there, right? You don't want to come to these hostile Detroits and places like that. You don't want to come to these places. Okay? Otherwise, y'all did the rematch. The reason the rematch didn't happen is because Savannah Marshall didn't want to come over here. They wanted to do it in the UK. So if you're going to say, yeah, but she's from the UK, so fucking what? So fucking what? Even people from the UK were saying Anthony Joshua needs to go outside of the UK, go to the States and fight. You have to do that. Everybody was saying it. But then, see, when it comes to Savannah Marshall, but why does she have to go to? Well, hey, listen, it's not that she have to, but guess what? She has no real estate. None. Clarissa does. She's the fucking champ. So why the fuck does she have to go to where you say she has to go to? Why are you dictating what the champ does? You're not the A side, clearly. But because it's your home country that they're trying to have the fight in, it's like you want to make it look like you have say so. No, it's not how that shit works. Okay. But this is my point. If you watch this video, it's called Back to Back with Franchon and Savannah Marshall. I want y'all to pay attention, if you do watch it, how many times they bring up Clarissa Shields. That same interviewer is going to repeat to Clarissa Shields everything at some point that Savannah Marshall said and that what Franchon Desern Cruz said. Franchon Cruz Desern, yeah, whatever. Long as 3 names and shit. But this is what they do, man. This is why I say fighters have to be on their game like Floyd used to be. Like how Floyd is. Like, you know, they would say, like, if Floyd is getting ready to fight, you know, Arturo Gatti. And, well, Shane Mosley, we're not here to talk about Shane Mosley. I got John, Arturo Gatti in front of me. That's all I'm focused on. Everybody else, yeah, buy pay-per-view, tune in. You don't want to miss this fight. We're not here to talk about, and that's what you got to do. So what if they feel some kind of way? Because this is exactly what this dude asked Savannah Marshall about the loss to Shields, and they both lost to Shields. And, everything that he wound up asking Marshall, somehow he tied it into Clarissa Shields. He's talking to Franchon and then starts tying things in to Clarissa Shields. Even asked would they wind up fighting each other one day and asked about the fight and all. It's like, so this is what they do, man. And believe me, that same interview, when he's sitting there talking to Shields, he's going to say, well, I talked to Savannah Marshall and I said, and Savannah Marshall said, blah, blah, blah. Are they going to play the clip for? How are they going to do it? And she's going to respond. And not that it should matter because it really shouldn't. But people are going to get all bent out of shape and want to try to make it seem like, oh, yeah, she's like somebody made a stupid ass comment and said that she's jealous of Savannah Marshall. And I said, please tell me why. Like what reason would Clarissa Shields have to be jealous of her? Because she got a decision that most people feel that she really lost in the amateurs, then got her ass beat in the pros, and haven't come close to accomplishing what Clarissa has accomplished in the pros. I mean, if you're going to make a claim, have something viable, something that makes sense to support that claim. It's just a hatred. So, same way that same interview is going to talk to Clarissa. Well, I talked to Franchon and she said, yeah, she said blah, blah, blah based off your question. Who wins that fight? Bro, I'm going to win. Same way she thinks she. This is what they do. They love to stir up bullshit. So yeah, man. I mean, I would like to see more fighters more on the ball. Make these interviewers, come up with more suitable questions, statements, comments. They just say a bunch of dumb shit. Be honest with you, because I know that's what I would be. If I'm getting ready to fight Deontay Wilder and you talking about Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, I'm gonna tell you, listen, I don't care what Anthony Joshua said. I don't care what Tyson Fury said. I'm fighting Deontay Wilder. That's the only fight I want to talk about. I don't want to talk about middleweights. I don't want to talk about welterweights. If you want to ask me who I think going to win certain fights or whatever, I really don't care personally. But that's more acceptable than you talking to me about other heavyweights that's not going to fight me. That time come, and I'm sitting here in front of you, and Anthony Joshua is my opponent at the time, or Tyson Fury or whoever, then we can talk about them. But until then, that's not what I'm here for. We're not overlooking Deontay Wilder, right? This is the fight that I have. This is the fighter that I'm getting in the ring with. That's what we're going to talk about. Think I care about how that interviewer is going to feel? What are you going to feel? This is what I wish more fighters would do. Because to be honest with you, you could take every sport, you could take any genre. There's some form of the rise and fall of such and such. These same interviewers are thirsty, man. If a story surfaces that makes you look good, they all want to be a part of it. If a story surfaces that make you look bad, they all want to be a part of it. I can remember when Muhammad Ali went through what he went through. When they took his boxing license and was threatening to send him to prison for not going to the war. And I remember Howard Cosell on Channel 7 in front of a national audience spoke his piece and spoke on behalf of Muhammad Ali, called him a great man, a great human being, and actually was like teary-eyed in his comments, okay? But let me just say, okay, that situation, why I'm bringing that up is because Howard Cosell was a straight shooter in interviews. If he agreed with you, he agreed with you. If he didn't, he didn't. But, he kept it about what was actually happening. And it was a much different time, of course. Anything back then would be tabloids. It would be newspapers, magazines. There was no social media, no YouTube, no Facebook, no TikTok, no Snapchat, none of that stuff back then. No Instagram. So, it was just one of those things where, what you knew about boxing is because you was invested into boxing. You really had an interest. Nowadays, it was the boxing. Nowadays, the drama is talked about more than what's happening in the ring. Okay, and the drama in the ring is talked about more so than the fight itself. It's just like, let's just put some bullshit out there and call it boxing news. And the people will clamor to it, which is why, like you heard Ari say, you don't hear me talking about people's personal life situations. I don't talk about domestic shit. I don't get into who's being divorced, and I don't like to get into that kind of stuff. That's personal. Like I said, that's a boxer, okay, that people are talking about. But that's not boxing news. So to make a mention of a possible distraction, or like just to say somebody's going through something, but I mean to like for me to sit down and make a video and try to dissect what I heard about somebody's personal relationship, no, that's not what Aries do. But this kind of stuff is what I'm saying, man. It's like, it just never fails. And I played that short video clip because a lot of people responded to what Clarissa was saying, but they said it as if she has some jealousy or some hatred towards Savannah Marshall. And it's like, do you guys realize she's only responding to things that these interviewers say, these reporters, but what they do is, I've noticed, put it to you like this. Let's say an interviewer is talking to Clarissa Shields. Now they'll give her just due, but it's to constantly bring up Savannah Marshall, right? But then the same people, when they talk to Savannah Marshall, it's more of a, like they're friends or something. Like, you understand what I mean to you? So it's like they're talking in a way of with Savannah, where it's like, they give her all these praise and try to make it sound like she's on the same level as Clarissa. For example, you've heard people say, well, Savannah's not as accomplished as Clarissa Shields, but they never said that in front of her. You understand my point? Why would they, when they're the ones asking the stupid questions and making the comments? Now, let's say if Savannah Marshall is speaking, but then when she's speaking about knocking her out and talking like she's nothing, that's the opportune time to say, well, she is more accomplished than you are. I mean, do you think it's that easy? You never hear that. Do you understand? They always made it sound like it was neutral ground, like they were 50-50. I remember people in my comment section, this is a 50-50 fight. I'm like, man, we'll see. I don't see it that way, but we'll see. And people ask me, what do you think, Aries? What did I say? I think Clarissa's going to beat the brakes off her. Basically, I don't see nothing. Her jab, her speed, nothing. She has power. She'll rock her body from side to side, up and down, throw a sneaky uppercut. But I mean, basically, she leans her head when she throws her jab and then tries to come in with the power shots. Clarissa's too smart for that, too slick for that. There's nothing in her arsenal that I see that she has that's going to give Clarissa problems. People thought she was going to close the gap. And I'm like, what make y'all think Clarissa's going to run? See, this was my thing. When I say, now we all use our imagination, but it's a difference. For me, it's more of an instinctive type imagination thing. But like I always tell you guys, what do I always say? You don't know what's going to happen when they get in the ring. But based on what I look at and consistency of how these fighters fight, I just don't see her doing anything. The only thing she has is if she can't knock Shields out, she's not going to win. She's not going to outbox Shields. People was all in my comment section. She's a much better boxer than Shields. She's going to surprise Shields because she works off her jab. She does this, she does that. Yeah, against those people that she fought. This is why I said when they fought themselves, they make it sound like Savannah beat up Shields the way Shields beat Savannah up when they fought in the pros. It was nothing like that. And honestly, most people felt like Shields got robbed. That's why, for me, I'm sitting there going, this is nothing more than people. This is either I'm supporting my countrymen type thing, or just people who just don't like Shields that just wanted to see somebody win. Simply because if you look at both of those fighters, come on, man. I mean, most people feel like she lost. They feel like Marshall lost, but was gifted that decision. In the pros, look at what they both accomplished and what they've done. And for her to say, she just got to the belts before me, this is what the fan base was repeating. If Savannah had did the same things, she would have beaten all the same fighters that Shields beat. It's easy to say that, but here's the reality. She don't have to beat them. She have to beat Shields. That's who she has to beat. So the psychological warfare, they was doing it on themselves. So the fans are trying to convince other fans to see things their way. And it's like, no, this is, everybody have the right to like what they want. But for me, if I thought Shields was going to lose, I would have said that shit. Now, when it comes to Franchon versus Marshall, I don't know. The reason I don't know is because they both fight hard, and Franchon brings pressure. I see flaws in both of their games. I don't know if the other is going to be able to exploit, you see? So I really don't know. Like, I'm not nearly as confident in Franchise winning against Savannah as I was with Shields. She may very well win. But I don't know. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not about I'm just saying it because it's Franchon. I don't know. I think she has what she needs to win. But the pressure she brings might be too much for Marshall. I don't know. But when she comes in, Franchon, a lot of times she throws punches and she throws so much to the point where her punches start to soften till she get that second win. She can get caught in between those times, even if she's up on the scorecards. She showed a good chin. So, but it's just, I haven't seen enough, excuse me, consistency of either fighter. Like when people was making it seem like Marshall was unbeatable. No, I seen flaws in her game that people was saying, no, or just inability to do certain things. The same thing I'm saying about Franchon. So I don't know who's gonna win. So this is not a fight where it doesn't, listen, even for me to say who I want to win doesn't matter. That's not, even if I want you to win, doesn't mean I really know. I feel that confident that you are. I don't know. And I'm being as honest as I can be. I don't know who's gonna win. What I will say is this. Marshall has the power. Franchon has the pressure. In terms of technique, Franchon is busy. She may push Marshall to the point where Marshall has to fight more or be more defensive minded than she would like to. So even with that, is she going to use her legs? Is she going to, what is she going to do? Is she going to throw combinations, one punch at a time? You understand? Can she adjust the way she needs to? Because the way I see it, Franchon likes to come forward. See, that's what people have to understand. When you fight in shields, you have combinations coming at you. Not so much with Marshall. Marshall was more like jab, 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 right hand, one hard into the body. She'll get in close and then club shots. And that's the thing, what I'm saying. She's long and rangy. She doesn't do this shit from the outside. She does it from the inside. See, and that is not working in her favor against a shorter fighter. But, just saying, Franchon, a lot of times when she throw her shots, she leans forward and she'll throw a lot of punches and she's there to be fucking hit. So volume might get you cracked because you're throwing a shot and you get hit with something you don't see coming. Things can just happen, but I'm looking at both people. This is what I'm saying. I'm looking at both fighters and I just don't feel 100% confident either way. I don't feel like, oh, Marshall got this, and I don't feel like, oh, Franchon got this. This is just like, I don't know. And really, I don't like to really give predictions too much anyway. I will for fun. Or if somebody asks me, I might, but hopefully it's a great fight. And if Franchon does win, I don't know if Shields want to go up, fight her, and take her belts. I doubt Franchon wants to come down to 160. In fact, when they fought, they fought on their debut. You could see the size difference, though. Look how big, not trying to be funny, look how big Franchon's fucking head is compared to Shields. Her legs, like everything. She's like just she's naturally a heavier, thicker fighter than Shields. And so, just saying, for that to happen, if it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Now, if Savannah was to win, I doubt very seriously she wants to go down to 160 and fight against Shields. But I'm willing to bet you. I am willing to bet you. If Marshall does win, the media and everybody is going to be all over this to try to push for a Shields versus Marshall 2. Guarantee you. I listen, I guarantee you. And even if it doesn't happen, whether it happens or not, it's going to be a thing where either the talk will just die down because it's not happening, but before it dies down, it'll be brought up every time. Just like, for example, look at Michaela Mayer and Elysian Baumgartner situation. It wasn't until last month that Michaela Mayer finally said, I'm moving on from Baumgartner. I'm not waiting on her. What did I say months ago? You shouldn't wait on one fighter. Baumgartner has her plans. Y'all fought. She got the win. Okay. You've been making noise. She's not changing her tune for you. She's going on with her career. You need to do the same thing. Otherwise, while someone else is making forward progress, you're sitting in the same seat trying to cross your fingers hoping you win the lottery. That lottery fight, and then, okay, now I'm back there. Like, no. Do what you have to do. So, yeah, again, this is just one of these things, man. I'm like, you know what? You troublemakers, man. It's funny. I just point these things out, man, because these reporters do this shit all the time, and the fighters, they they're gonna respond. But it's times when you need to just tell them to just fall back and shut up. Nobody cares about what they say. That's not what they said is not signing the contract. There's no term sheets, there's nothing. It's just them running their fucking mouth. And until they do so, and we are negotiating the fight, and that's what we're heading to, there's no need to talk. Anyway, never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.